Welcome. All right, now take two. What's up, the Gifted Table family? How are you? I am Dr. Mallanie Harris, your excited and delighted host, and we are live today. It is April 17th, 1 week after my mommy's birthday, and I'm so excited. And we're here for another moment to talk about us, empowerment, leadership. And April here at the Gifted Table is the month of self empowerment. Joining me right now is, of course, the infamous, the most talented. You got to get them on your team. My producer, editor, coach, all things audio is, Chris Hamilton. Chris, say hello to the people.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Gifted Table Live. I think she was bringing me into the stream to get me back for the countdown situation.
We be tripping sometimes, y'all.
I got you though. I got you though, man. How are you doing, Mal?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Blessed, blessed, blessed. Standing on faith, standing in favor,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
just excited to be here. And thank you for your time, sir. Always
Well, you
glad
know
to.
you got some of your people already up in here, and if you are in here, make sure you drop a chat so we can see who you are.
I see you, Felicia. Felicia, not Felicia, Felicia. We just had a great conversation the other day. If you don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, yeah, that's our get down together. So glad that you're here, sis. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. And Chris, listen here, family, Gift the Table family. We have to wish him congratulations. He's a new daddy, new beautiful baby boy.
Thank you, thank
Congratulations to
you,
you and the missus. Oh, he's so adorable. He's so adorable.
thank you, thank
So
you. The baby is adorable too. I agree. Yes.
he got jokey jokes.
Hey,
He's
look, we got
empowering himself.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mally. I really appreciate that. And yes, little Christian James Hamilton is 1 month old as of yesterday,
Oh,
born March 16th. So he is here. And also here is Lauren. Hello, Lauren. Welcome to the
oh my
stream.
goodness. Lauren Dillard. Lauren Dillard. Oh, we just reconnected today. Lauren, we have to reach out, but we work together in my former district. She is now doing great and beautiful things. And thanks to Felicia, we have reconnected. So thank you. All right. I see my cousin Sherlon. What? Hello, cousin. She look coming in from Texas.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? Ain't
I
nothing
got
long
some
about
I
that
got some
state.
folks. I got some folks and family in Texas as well. Houston, Texas, to be exact.
That's where my people are. We might be kin.
Look at that. Maybe that's why we get along so well. Your family didn't even know it. Look at that.
Right, right. Okay, y'all, we are going to get started. We have a special treat. Has our guest arrived?
Yes, yes. Our guest has
Oh,
arrived.
I'm so
We're going to
excited.
bring her in as soon as you introduce her.
I
And
am.
for our guests, hopefully that you
Yes,
can hear us. You will be joining us soon. So,
yes.
go ahead and get ready. And then as soon as it's time to drop you in, we're going to just add you to this stream and you should be good to go.
Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. So, hey, like I said earlier, April, empower yourself. If you didn't catch last week's episode of The Gifted Table, I talked about some ways for us as leaders. The Gifted Table is here for women, a platform for us to just talk about our leadership, how we can support one another, talk about our passions, our perseverance, our profession, and of course, our purpose. So, last week's episode, I gave you some tips on how to empower yourself in your own leadership by doing three simple things. The first one is reading some books to grow professionally or just to reaffirm where you're headed in your profession. And I talked about The Memo by Minda Harts. It's a great book. Check it out. And I also dropped in a challenge for you to do. So go back to last week's episode. I also talked about journaling. Journaling is one way that I love to just collect my thoughts, to get them out on paper, and to also hold myself accountable. Now, we have some people in here right now. How many of you actually journal? Do you journal not even for professional, maybe for personal reasons? And if so, what inspires you to journal? Let's put some things in the chat about journaling. For
Also,
me, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Also, with that, I mean, you were talking about the memo, and you were also talking about the challenge that you put out there. I didn't want to just breeze over that. I think
Okay,
maybe we should share with the people,
let's
what you
do
were
it.
also including.
Let's do it. Let's
So
do it.
here we are. We have it right here.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, in the memo, there are 10 chapters. And what was created was a sort of a T chart just by looking at the titles of the chapter, even before you read the book. Minda Harts has created these amazing titles. And so what I asked the viewers of the Gifted Table, our Gifted Table family, to do was to look at those titles first and see which of those titles apply to you right now in your position. It doesn't even matter what position you are, we're all leaders in our own respective ways. So look at chapter number 1, the ugly truth. Have you ever had to deal with the ugly truth in your job? And what is Minda talking about? Again, you got to get the book. And then the second one, now Chris, no, I can't see that little tiny type, but it says
Oh,
building your squad. No, we're good. No, keep it there.
okay. I'm gonna keep it there.
Building your squad. Do you have a professional squad, which I like to call your personal board of directors? These are the people who not only hold you accountable, hold you up, but they say your name in those important places where you may not be so that others could get to know who you are. So build your squad. Chris, what do you think about those first two titles? Where'd you find yourself on this T chart?
So I definitely resonated with a lot of the different chapter titles and made me want to go grab the book. And so I'm still waiting for my copy to arrive, but I want to check it out so I can see what this book is all about. But for
Mhm,
sure, looking at I don't know what the chapters really are about, but the ugly truth to me, it just is that moment where you really just got to be honest with yourself. And
mhm.
sometimes it's not as pretty as you like it to be.
Right.
And that is with your leadership, that is with what you've been able to do or not able to do by empowering yourself. What is the truth? Because I think we got to first get to a moment of honesty with ourselves and say, man, I have not been that punctual. I have not been that honest with my team. I have not been,
Mhm.
the work ethic hasn't been there. If we get first to, the ugly truth, then it's like, all right, now that that's on the table, the gifted table, that is, now that it's on the table,
Like it.
we can
Like it.
work through. Yes, yes, yes. The gifted table, so we can work through things if we, really give the truth about what the situation is. Now I'm just guessing that that's what the chapter is about. It could be something totally different. I don't know.
That's an awesome guess though. Now I want you to look at
Okay,
the
good.
subtitle because the memo is talking about what? Women of color and make sure we're taking our seat at the table.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that's yeah, especially if you go by that, then it's really like,
Mhm.
what is the I've heard a lot of people say things like, why would I ask for a seat when I'm building my own table? That kind of thing. So it's
Right.
really like, the truth about it is a lot of these tables don't want to give us seats. Um
You better say that again.
somebody on your show said it really well when they said, it's not very hard to just add another chair to the table.
Because
You
there's
know,
room for everyone,
there's
right?
room for everybody. So
Right.
it's one of those things. It's a great book. I think people will really enjoy it, and
I
I
really
can't
hope.
wait to read it.
Yeah, and sometimes when they don't want to make room for you at the table, you got to throw those elbows and create your own space. Wait a minute, I got to say what's up to Eric Askew. I see my buddy, my friend Eric here. What's up, Eric? Thank you for joining us on the Gifted Table along with Summer Leaves. You know she's so faithful. Thank you, Summer, for being here. And she even put in here that she keeps a journal for focus and for growth in all areas. And got to say, I'm so proud of her right now. She's in school, she's pushing through, just came out of spring break, full-time entrepreneur. Stay focused, sisters. Stay focused. All right. Now that we're talking about gifts, book writing, the memo, and all these things, it's time to bring on our guests. And our special guest today, she's amazing, guys. Get ready for her spirit. She is a coach. She is an author. She is a woman who is leading in so many ways. Please welcome to the gifted table, my friend, Coach LT, Latasha Jimerson.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, sis?
What's up? Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to present my gifts at this table. I appreciate you.
Listen, we just said there's so much room, especially at the gifted table. And I'm so excited that you are here, Coach LT. Oh my goodness. Now, listen, we're going to jump right into it. So, those of you who are here, if you're online, if you have a YouTube account, log into your YouTube account so you can connect with us through the chat. We really want to hear from you. Thank you for those of you who are already on. We got some folks on. And listen, I hope you shared this link with your family, Coach LT,
Oh
because
yeah.
we got to get your people in here.
Oh yeah.
So you have such an amazing story. We're gonna kind of back it up a little bit, but we're gonna spring it forward because you and I used to past tense.
Yes, back in the day.
Rearview mirror, used to work at the same school district.
Yep.
And you were a teacher for many years.
Oh yeah.
And I said you're an author. You wrote your first book when you were a teacher,
Yes.
and then you transitioned
Oh yeah.
away from that. Tell us a little bit about just what made you go from teaching to transitioning to where you are now. Tell the people about your story.
Thank you so much. It ain't nothing but God. I didn't make this transition by myself, right? I had to be obedient to what the Spirit was telling me. And when it was time to go, it was time to go, right?
Yeah.
So I've always been a reader and a writer. I heard you talking early about journaling, and that's one of the things that I do every single day. I've been doing that since I was 12. And as the years progressed as a teacher, I started journaling and started learning about myself and realizing that I wasn't really living to my fullest potential. And this was about 2015. And I started reading books on personal development. And I started thinking, what can I do to advance myself? Because I'm good at teaching. I'm good at raising my kids. I'm good in my marriage. Everything else is good. Everybody else is good. But what can I do for me? And so I literally started publishing books as a hobby for fun, just as something to do for me. And that's just kind of how it got started. That was the very, very beginning in about 2015.
That's so, I mean, can you believe that's been almost 10 years?
Yes.
That's been almost 10 years.
Yes.
And so tell the people, how many books have you published since then? You said you started as a hobby.
Yes.
And this is the thing about our gifts, right? You were doing this as a hobby, but you knew you had a gift at it. And now we're going to talk about what you're doing now. But how many books have you published so far?
Right now I'm up to 8, and I love that number 8 because it represents abundance. So I'm up to 8 on my own. 2 of those books actually were collaborations, which went bestseller on Amazon within the same month. But we won't talk about that right now. But I have 8 books. Yeah, there's 8 of them out on the market. There you go.
Check that out.
So much. You got it. That's
we got you on the gifted table.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm up to 8. 2 of those were collaborations with other teachers and public speakers. Mm-hmm. There's a couple that I don't see up there, but that's all right. You got the gist of it right there.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And your first book was what? And
my
why?
first book was Secrets, and that was a memoir, which I didn't know it was a memoir at the time because I was collecting my reflections from my actual journal. So it's funny that you start out with journaling because that's literally what I've been doing my whole life. And what my journals revealed were some lessons from life. And I was like, dang, I've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put those journals together into that book and I put it out in the world, and I was praying that nobody would read it, to be quite honest with you. I was like, I hope nobody read this, because I was talking about personal stuff. Yeah. And when people started reading it, they started asking me questions.
Mm.
And they started saying, hey, can I interview you? Can I talk to you? I got this thing going on with depression. I got anxiety. I
Yeah.
need you to really like talk to me. And so I was just on the phone talking to people about their own issues, which I had processed myself through that writing.
Oh my goodness, that's so powerful. That is so powerful. Now you titled it Secrets and you didn't want anybody to read it.
Right. That part.
That part right there. That part right there. You know,
Yes.
before we continue, I just want to give some shout outs. I see Jonathan here. Hello, Jonathan Davis, my cousin. What's up, fam? Glad to see you here. Glad to see you here. And a couple of people did respond about just journaling here and what they're doing. So now you were teaching, you were writing for hobbies, doing all these things. And I was called you Coach LT on purpose because we know that is who you are. So now I want you to just quickly share, what are you doing right now in your personal business for empowering yourself? Because you said you weren't doing anything for yourself. Everybody else was good. But now tell how you are empowering yourself through your gifts.
Absolutely. I love getting up every morning and going for a long walk. Sometimes I take a hike because I live near the mountains. I do yoga in the morning. I stretch. I do meditation. I read a lot, and I am always journaling and going live on Facebook. Live is like my next hobby. Like I literally go live every single day just to say hello to the people, right? Just to say hello. What are y'all thinking? What questions do you have for me? And that fills me up. I tell people what I do now is speak for a living, and I coach people on how to write their own books. But my own personal development is really just listening to what people have to say and answering those questions. And it's the love of my life. I've created the lifestyle that I want, and it's so fulfilling. And I'm so happy that I was able to do this for myself. And thank you for that question, because that is so important. And that's what I talk to people about. What do you want to do with your whole day? And literally, I could just take my whole day, go for walks, journal, meditate, relax, hike, drink some tea. I get to just do whatever the hell I want. Honestly, you guys, can I cuss on here? Is that okay?
You can say that. You can say that 4-letter word.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna keep it Christian.
Yes.
but this here, we're uncensored here. This is our platform to be real, to be authentic, and to really have a good conversation, because we're at the table, and that's where all the good stuff happened. So now I want to talk about, you talked about how you're coaching people. I really want the people to know about that and what you're doing for coaching. You sit and meet with people on who want to self-publish. And people sometimes don't realize they have a story to tell. You and I have had that conversation, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I promise, and she knows people, she knows that I am going to publish something eventually. I am. But let's talk about who do you mostly work for? Not work for like you're working for someone else, but work for in order to help them empower and get to where they want to go in their writing. What does your coaching look like?
Absolutely. I love that question. I love that question. So there's almost 8 billion people on the planet.
Mhm.
And every single human being has a story, including men, women, and children.
Yeah.
Everyone has a story, right? Everyone's been through something, and everyone needs a place to be safe to express themselves, because it's not always safe everywhere to go and express yourself. So
Right.
one of the things that I do that is so specific about my coaching in particular is that I work with women over 40 who are like me, career women, moms, even grandmoms sometimes.
Let's do a self-check. Let's do a self-check right now. Is there anyone on here now who's over 40? Is there anyone now who's working in their profession? Any parents?
I'm at the right table, yo.
Right. They have a story to tell. They have a story to tell. Okay, go ahead.
Definitely. So women over 40 who are ready to finally focus on their dream to become an author, right?
Mhm.
I had the dream for 12 years. I didn't do it because I didn't know. I was scared. I thought people were going to judge me, whatever. But once I processed and worked through all of that trauma, I was able to come out and build a whole new life around my work. So I create safe spaces for women to learn and grow. And by learning, I mean I teach these women how to finally put themselves first and stop putting themselves on the back burner and everybody else in the front, and get their book project done in a safe space with me. I do private coaching and group coaching. I love the private coaching because people share more, they release. And when they release, all the creativity comes out and the work is phenomenal. So that's in a nutshell who I serve. And I can go into detail, but I won't, because I want y'all to ask, some questions about it.
That's
But
right.
that's basically what I do.
That's right.
Yes.
We gonna have a question and answer service. Hold on, I gotta fix my lashes out. For
There
some
you
reason, I feel like
go.
I'm looking sleepy.
The
I'm not
last
sleepy,
pop,
but I look like I'm doing like this, and I was like, "Am I looking like this?"
they
So,
pop it.
these are legacy lashes for those who want to know. Plug for my friend.
There
All
you go.
right. But with that being said, empowering women to tell their story. How many times are we out with our girlfriends on the phone, in a group text, just hanging out, and we're sharing these stories about what's going on at our work life,
Yes.
right? What's going on in our careers, or what's not happening in our careers?
Yes.
What's happening in our homes? How are those things affecting us? Why are we always the strong ones? Why
Yeah.
can't we be vulnerable? You know, when can we feel weak but still feel safe and protected? And what platforms do we have for that, right? And so to create this space or give people an opportunity to discover something that they didn't even realize, oh my goodness, that's key. And I have to tell you guys, she does it in such a way that you almost feel like she is your therapist.
I've been told that I have to do the disclaimer. I have to say, therapy is a form of writing, but it doesn't replace therapy. I mean, writing is a form of therapy, but writing doesn't replace therapy. Please see your therapist as well.
I am not a trained.
Right, I'm not a trained therapist, but people do say the process is healing because, like you said, they can finally let their hair down, take the wig off. Like they take everything off, take the glasses off. Let's just get together, and you can't do that everywhere.
Yes.
You can't do that with everyone.
Right.
You
That
know.
is so true. When you're going through these journeys with the writers and the people who are working with you, and you're serving alongside them, what has been one of the most inspirational writing stories you've come across so far as a coach?
Ooh, my goodness. So many of these stories, there's such a thread that runs through every single one of them. And I'll just go ahead and put it out there. In my book, I wrote about being abused as a child. And so for some reason, when people come into my space, we start talking about abuse. We start talking about childhood trauma. We start talking about relationship issues, boundary issues, codependency, and we dig into that, and we stuff bubbles up, and we talk about it, and we process it. And so the most interesting story that I've ever literally worked through with a client was, we talked about her relationship with a toxic sibling.
Mm,
And I
mm,
said, whoa, this is going to be something, because we
mm.
talk about toxic spouses,
Right,
toxic
right,
parents, toxic friends, toxic workspaces. But
right.
have we ever talked about toxic sibling relationships?
Mm,
I was like, whoa, we worked through that thing. And when we were done, I mean, you look at the person that I worked with, she's not even the same woman.
wow, wow. And that's coming from the way that you're able to pull these things out of people to help them empower themselves. And I'm sure once her manuscript, book, whatever she was doing was done, I'm sure she's felt so empowered.
Yeah.
How has your professional background impacted your coaching style?
Oh my goodness. I am by trade a history teacher. It's in my blood. I started 2003 I started teaching in the unknown district where we used to teach, right? In 2003 I started teaching world history for 7th grade, 8th grade, US history, and then I transitioned into high school and I've taught government and finance and psychology and English. I had a great time teaching 2 years of English. And
Mhm.
so, one of the things that I learned from working with students from age 12 to 19 is
Mhm.
that you got to have a lot of patience, a lot of compassion, a lot of love, and enthusiasm. And so, all of those things are the pieces of the recipe that created what I am today as a coach. And not only do you have to be patient and loving and kind, but you have to be an entertainer. And so I learned very quickly as a classroom teacher to entertain as well as educate and inspire, because the kids ain't gonna pay attention to you if you're boring. I'm just gonna throw it out there like that.
It's true. And one of the books you wrote about, right, was for teachers. What was
Yeah.
the title of that book again?
Oh my gosh, that title has changed so many times.
What?
Yeah, because I have gotten, this is what I do. I put it out and then I get feedback from my colleagues and then I republish it. That's
Okay.
that's the beauty of self-publishing. So it used to be daily bread for teachers.
Mhm.
And then I said, you know what? That's not mine. I can't take that. And so I said, let me put that
That
back.
sounds like a devotional.
Exactly. But I said, you know what? It's going to be 185 honeymoon tips for teachers. I said, okay, because it's 185 days in the
Yes,
school year. Most people don't know that.
typically. Mhm.
And you need to pray through each one of those days. And I have tips on how to get through each one of those days
Uh-huh.
and how to have fun and be a human while you're educating. And that's the book right there. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. I love it.
You are so funny. The honeymoon won't last.
Oh, it won't. Oh, it won't. Definitely. It won't last, but you gotta try to hold on to hope as long as you can.
Mhm.
Can I
In
That's
ask a
the
so
good
question?
funny.
times,
All right, go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry. Can I? Hey there, Latasha. Thanks for coming on to the stream.
Thank you.
So I'm the producer. So I'm listening to you, and I hear everything that you just said about yourself and what you needed to be in the classroom. It pours out into this camera. Okay,
Thank
I
you.
can hear it and see it. Now I have a question.
Yes.
What is this title? Like like Mallanie kind of brought it out a little bit when she said the honeymoon won't last forever. Why this title? What is this? Like
Yes.
explain this a little bit to us. I don't know. I might
Yes.
have to buy this book.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and congratulations on the new baby.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I know sleep is a whole thing for you right now, right?
Oh man. Yes, sleep.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know what that is anymore. I don't know sleep. Call him and tell him to, link up with me. Let's
I
go.
know. Sleep, Chris. Chris, sleep. Come on, let's go.
You want to be blessed.
Okay, so 185 honeymoon tips for teachers.
Absolutely. And
Talk to me.
it's honeymoon tips, man, that could apply to anything in life, because it talks about, look, the first 30 days of school, everybody's on their best behavior. You looking good, you smelling good, you dress good, you're ironing your clothes. I mean, from the teachers all the way down to the kindergartners, everybody's on their best behavior. You're excited, you're taking pictures, you love everything about the class, you're just excited. And then after about 30 days, you get settled in, you get used to your schedule, especially the middle school level where I was at with the teenagers. They get their friends, they're happy in their seat where they sit,
You got
and
to give 15
everybody,
days in middle school.
exactly, everybody starts to kind of relax and just let the hair down and really start to become themselves.
Mhm.
And then after that first 30 days, you're like, okay, wait a minute, hold up. Something in the atmosphere just shifted. Where are we? Is this the Twilight Zone? Like all of a sudden, that's when your mama voice comes out with your teacher voice, and you're like, wait a minute, hold up, sit down, be quiet. No, you can't do that. That's when the crazy starts to come out, and you have to figure out a way to maintain your composure and stay focused and on task.
Yeah.
So the honeymoon phase is something that you chase that all year long. It's just like in a marriage. You go back to those days where you used to hold hands and used to look at each other like this, googly eyes. And then you used to talk all night and just never get tired of each other. And then all of a sudden, at some point, you're like, can you wash the dishes? No, you wash the dishes. I already washed the dishes. Can you do what I asked you to do? It starts like, whoa, what happened? How did this go from bliss to a hot mess? Like that's
Hmm.
the honeymoon. It goes away so quickly, and you're like, oh my God,
Hmm.
what happened? What happened here?
You capture it every day of the year. That's what she's telling us. I love it. I love it. So I want to publish a book,
Mhm.
right? I want to publish a book. How many of you who are on here are interested in publishing a book, right? If you had the opportunity, would you publish a book? And I see my friend Orlana is on here. Hello, welcome. She's up here in Northern Cal with me. So glad you joined us. And I know there are some people who are online who haven't logged in, but you're here. Thank you for being here. Really, really love to have you all in the chat. So for those of you who are online, if you have the opportunity to publish a book, would you? Just simple. Yes or no. Just put it in. If you had the opportunity to publish a book, and you were able to do it in a way that didn't stress you out, that didn't take away from the time that you're spending right now in your job, would you do it? Okay, Eric, he would, and he's retired
Awesome. He's got
at
time.
a young age, at a ripe young age. He's nice and retired. Okay, all right, okay. Come through, cousin. Yes, and you have a story. He has a story to tell. He needs to publish a book, just as Eric does. Who else? Would you publish a book if you had the opportunity? When you were talking about your journals, I have I I mentioned on the last episode, I journal every day devotionals. Okay. So I read a devotional and I journal my response from that. That's one way I empower myself. And I have so many of those. And I got to tell you, Coach LT, I know we've talked about some other things that I need to publish. I know, because for my own
Yes.
coaching and all these things. But I got to tell you, something has been in my spirit, to go to my journals and create something from my collection of journals. So
Oh,
just putting that out there from like my reflections on my devotionals.
oh, that's deep.
I know. Talk about some private thoughts.
Yeah,
Okay, look, Summer Leaf said that she said, of course, she would publish a book. And oh my goodness, those three people, they have a story to tell. They have a story to tell for sure. So I want to self-publish to empower myself. What does that look like? What does that look like for someone who would want to do that? And then I'm gonna ask you a couple of more questions.
oh yeah. The very first step, I just did a live stream on this earlier today. And it talked about 3 ways to get started, because that's what people always ask. Well, how do I even get started? First thing is, you really need to pray about it, meditate on it, and you need to make a decision. Once you make a decision, everything rolls downhill.
Okay. Well, what
It's
does that hill look like?
Yeah. So the hardest thing is just coming up with the courage and the strength to just say, you know what, guys, I'm going to write a book this year.
Mhm.
That's the first thing you need to do. And if you say that in front of your children, those are the best accountability partners that you can ever have in the world, because they're going to ask you, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Is your book out? Are we famous? Where are the royalties? The kids already know. The kids know how to get dreams done.
Where are the royalties?
Yeah, I mean, the kids are going to be all into it because they're on Google doing the research, right?
Where are the
So
royalties?
make the decision. Just make a decision to declare it out loud. I'm going to write a book this year, or I'm going to write a book in the next 5 years. Whatever,
Mhm.
however whatever makes you feel comfortable, but
Mhm.
also you got to be a little scared too.
Yeah.
So just make that decision. That's step one.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
step one.
Step one, make the decision.
Step two is you just got to get out a piece of paper and a pen and start writing down topics that interest you. This is a brainstorm.
Mm.
You just, in my community, we call it a brain dump.
Dump
We,
your brain.
yeah, we dump it all out. We put it all out on paper and we say, hey, these are the things that I like. These are the things that I'm good at. This is what I'm interested in. That goes out on the table at the gifted table, right? You
Put it all on the table.
bring those ideas to the table, bring it, but you
Oh,
got to have a piece of paper, fill it up as fast as you can, right? And
right.
don't edit, don't
Unfiltered.
don't stop yourself.
Totally unfiltered.
Just okay,
Hmm.
just let that's step two.
I need to make a decision, and I need to just dump it all out. Just free write, free write, free write. Don't worry about edits. Don't worry about grammar. Just get it all out. Okay. Okay.
That's step two. And then
Mhm.
the last step to just getting started is, now that you have made a decision and you have ideas, start looking at the best ideas and put the very best idea in an outline. Outline your book.
Okay. I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to just brainstorm, dump, free write ideas, topics. And from those, I'm going to then streamline to the ones that make the most sense. And the one that I know I'm confident about, I'm going to outline that thing. Just outline it.
Yep.
Okay. How long, when you're working with your clients, how many days, how many years? Does it take years to do this? What's some goals that you set? What's some goals
I
that you
love
set,
it.
or what do you tell people that how quickly they can do this?
Well, I got to give you this little anecdote real quick,
I
because
love it.
2003 is when I started teaching, right?
Mhm.
2005 is when I met a really cool lady. She taught science. I taught history. We had the same students.
Mhm.
And that year, we were still beginning teachers. So, we were good, effective teachers. And so we were given some of the challenging ones. And so we were pulling our hair out every day and we were brainstorming with each other. We were meeting each other for coffee and at each other's homes and talking about what can we do to be more effective teachers and how can we strategize. And one of the things, she looked at me one day and she told me, she said, you need to write a book. And I was like, huh? What you talking about, Willis? I don't do that. And she was like, no, you need to write a book. And I was like, well, you're a science major. You have a PhD. You know what to do. I had all these excuses. And she was like, no, you have some very interesting ideas and you need to write a book. That was 2005.
My goodness.
I didn't start exploring that until about 2015. And so I delayed my blessings for 10 years. I was pregnant for 12 years, though.
Then you finally gave birth to that thing.
Finally gave birth in 2017.
Ooh,
I
that purpose was germinating, huh?
a long time. A long time.
She said I was pregnant for 12 years.
I was, man.
Then you gave birth to that thing. And boy, when you gave birth, whew, transformed your life, transformed your career, transformed your family, transformed you.
Oh, yes.
Because you made a decision. You finally decide to do a brain dump.
Yep. In the journal.
In the journal.
Multiple journals.
You picked the topic, you outlined that thing, and then you published. Right? And then you called it Secrets.
And I was praying, like you said, with your devotionals, right?
Yeah,
I was praying that maybe I could write about something other than myself, right? Because I wasn't, I had nothing going on. I was just a teacher, just a mom, just a this, just a that. And so I was like, I'm not going to write about myself. I'm going to write about something else. And so as I was writing in my journal and thinking and meditating, and I was up late at night. I'm a night owl, y'all. I'm a really, really late night owl. And I just have to say, When I'm up in the middle of the night and I'm being inspired,
Mm.
it's the most incredible
Yeah.
thing because I'm in commune with God and my purpose. And
Mhm.
I'm almost, well, I'm not almost, I'm just going to tell you like this. I'm under a trance.
Mm.
When I was
Mhm.
writing my book, my family members were literally coming into my bedroom where I kept my computer. They were
Mhm.
sliding me plates of food and giving me bottles of water because
Wow.
I was under a trance.
Wow.
When I finally made the decision to
Mhm.
do it, and I had
Mhm.
that mind body connection, everything came into alignment. I was
Mhm.
on that computer for days and days and days. And
I
then
get it.
finally, about 4 months passed, and the summertime was my time. I said, ooh, it's now or never.
Mm.
Summertime came, and I said, I gotta press play on this. I gotta go because this
Mhm.
it's done. When
Yeah.
when it when it's done, you know it's done.
Yeah. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So how soon could I get it done? How
Mm,
soon? What are some ways that you can entice people, encourage them that
yeah,
they don't have to be pregnant for 12 years. They
exactly.
can get this thing published right away,
That
right?
that part, that part.
Mhm.
So the thing is, when people come into my space
Mhm.
and they feel my energy and they realize that, oh my gosh, Coach LT, she's gonna hold my feet to the fire. We're gonna get it done. For my process, it's a 90-day coaching program.
I'm sorry, say what?
It's a 90-day coaching program. However,
Yes.
however,
Mhm.
I'm a coach who can either coach with a feather or a
Yes.
belt.
Oh, not a feather or a belt.
Either one. Either one. I'm gonna meet you where you are. And some of us are
Uh-huh.
procrastinators like I
Mhm.
was for 12 years.
Mhm.
And so for those folks, I have to be like, hey, crack the whip. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? How
Yeah.
many pages you got? How many words you got? Da, da, da,
Right.
da. And there's some people who come in with a
Right.
manuscript done
Wow.
and we work it and
Mhm.
we put it out and we launch it and it's beautiful.
I love it.
So everybody's kind of on a different
Mhm.
journey.
Yes.
However, the average is about 90 days for most people who come into my world.
90 days, start to finish, publishing a book. Now,
Done.
that is empowerment. That is empowerment. And you have so many clients' testimonials to this fact. She
Amen.
has receipts,
Amen.
she has invoices.
Amen.
Amen and thank you to the fact. To the fact. So knowing that you've done this and you've used your professional growth, you transitioned just from your life experiences, you've put those things. Oh, okay. Eric said, okay, all
Okay.
right. Okay, and Teja's here. Tasia. Tasia's here.
Tasia.
Sorry, Tasia. And she says she's locked in. Tasia, get ready. Get ready because we are going to give her information towards the end, but we ain't done yet. Let me ask you this. What has stretched you the most in your leadership
Ooh.
during this process and working with others and helping them to learn how to become self-published, become authors, or just to get in that mindset of taking what's in their heart and mind and putting it to pen? What has
Ooh.
stretched you the most?
Ooh. What has stretched me is the amount of people that have come to me with a story, the amount of demand that there has been for book coaching. This is something that I never anticipated. I never planned this as a career, yo. I didn't know this was going to be a career for me. But the numbers of people that come to me and say, I need help, I have an idea, what do I do? I've had to duplicate myself, y'all. I've had to create a team of editors, a team of book coaches, a team of people who can help me pull these projects together. And so, what that has done is that has pulled me up out of the weeds of the work, and
Mhm.
it's made me elevate to CEO status and oversee the process, which is a whole nother thing, right? Like I'm a
You better
class
sit in that C-suite,
right,
honey.
right. But see, I'm a true
You
leader.
better sit in the
Right.
C-suite.
Like I'm comfortable with being
Yes.
in the work with the clients, right? I'm not gonna say students because
Mhm.
these
They're
are
your
adults, but
clients. Yeah.
I'm used to being hands-on, watching the aha moments, the bubbles over the heads, the eyes rolling back. And now it's like, wait a minute. Oh, God, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Now I have people come in, work with me for the coaching
Yeah.
and the editing and all that publishing piece gets done by my team. And now I'm like,
Now that's stretched.
man,
Now that's
I'm
stretched.
I'm a whole nother
Yes.
person because now I have people who are mirroring what I do. And many of my clients are now book coaches.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that.
It's beautiful. It's
Paying it
amazing.
forward.
It's
Paying
amazing.
it forward. Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about it is I attract a lot of educators, especially those that are on the cusp of retirement. And they're like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because I retired myself at 46.
You better speak it.
Yeah. And so a lot of educators are like, well, how do I? And it's like, okay, let's have this conversation because
Yeah.
you don't know when you get that first book done, you don't know
Mhm.
what's about to happen to your life. And you can see, looking on my
Yeah.
Facebook, my clients are like, they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm on my fourth book.
Mm-hmm.
And it just it rolls downhill.
Yes. And Chris was about to come in. I think he got a little inspired.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, absolutely. Like my wife Tasia, she was saying she locked in. I'm locked in too. Uh Coach LT, I can't tell you how many times just different ideas come up and it's like, man, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. And even just the 5 steps that you've given us is like, all right, that makes all of the sense in the world. And it's like, I could definitely see how beneficial it is to have you as a coach. And I
Yeah.
know you would get that book done if we
Oh
were
yes.
working with you.
Oh
Oh
yeah. Come
yes.
on, come through, Tasia.
So I
Yes.
just had because we had some different ideas, but I have a question. Okay,
Yes.
because um we were talking about the benefits of writing your own book and self-publishing your own book. And what it sounded like, we talked about words like therapy and we talked about words like, kind of help you get your story out. So it sounds like those are benefits.
Mhm.
Is there a financial benefit to self-publishing and what does that road look like? I mean, is that something that should entice people? Because from my brain, I mean, you got to be JK Rowling with like this huge, publishing deal in order for book writing to be lucrative. You said you have clients that are on their 4th book.
Yes.
Is the financial part playing a part in that? Can we talk about that?
Absolutely. I call that the show me the money, yo. I love
Yeah.
talking about that piece. But I do want to go back though, Chris, and I want to
Okay.
ask you how you know I got 5 steps. I only gave y'all 3.
Oh well,
You all up in my
He's over there taking notes. He's
yeah,
taking
in
well,
my curriculum.
listen. I am a producer. Okay, this is what I do. I'm over here. Listen, I gotta show y'all. I'm over here making Canva documents. Okay, look, I got the 5 steps right there. What you talking about?
He's about to post that up for the people. Don't worry. Because this is how we do. This is what we do.
I'm creating.
We tag
Yeah,
team
yeah.
here.
Oh
Yes.
yes,
We
oh
put
yes.
all the gifts on the
So we
table. We
so
put
we got
all
the
the gifts.
document, the little, the image. We can send that to you, send that to everybody so they
Yes.
can see. But what I did was I just took. I know I had the for sure 3, and
Yes.
then I guess 4 I put as creative outline and 5 is published. So if 4 and 5 is
Ooh.
different, then please let me know, and I'm gonna go over here, or I can add another one. But
We're gonna let
go
you
Hey,
do
ahead,
what
go
you do
ahead, go
I
ahead.
first.
love
We're gonna
it.
let you
I
do what
love
you
it.
do.
Listen, you got exactly right. You got
Yes.
it
Okay.
exactly right. You just read my mind and probably pulled it out of my workbop or something. I don't
There
know.
it goes.
Looking at my workbook.
We're
No,
gonna
I'm
drop
just
it
playing.
in. We're gonna drop it in on the description too, and on YouTube on the gift the table. So this will be in the description. It will be available for people as well as on Coach LT's. We'll give it to her to put on her website, and it also will be on the gift the tables website. So thank you, Chris.
Absolutely.
He always doing the thing. But great question. Okay, the
Yes.
financial piece. Let's talk about that.
The money question. Let's talk about the money. So,
Yeah.
what I tell my authors is that when you come into my program, get ready to get paid because it's unexpected. Okay, because when I started, I was just looking to get my book out as a way for me to overcome some of the things that I had been through. So it was just therapy for me. But when I started making income, I started making extra coffee money. Okay. So I was able to go hang out with my friends and have coffee. I was able to finally get my hair and my nails done because I was doing my own hair, my own nails. I was able to get all the stuff that I wanted that I wasn't able to do for myself as a mama, as a working mother. I was able to do those things. And then the money started turning into mortgage money.
Mm.
And then the money started turning into savings money. And then it was like, well, wait a minute. Why am I still doing this 9 to 5 when my coaching and my book publishing is making more than my regular 9 to 5? It just didn't make any sense.
That part.
So what I tell my authors is, please come in the door with the attitude of gratitude and expectation that you are going to make money. People say, oh, authors don't make no money. Well, because authors don't know how to monetize themselves as a brand. And that's what I teach as well. There's a monetization to this. And it doesn't matter if you have 15 books or 5 books or just one. All you need is really one, because that one book is going to explode everything else that you're doing. Are you already teaching? The book is going to expand that. Are you already coaching, or are you already on stage speaking? The book is going to expand that. I have a person that I'm working with right now who is an energy healer. She has a store with crystals. She makes a ton of money off of crystals. And I said, okay, let me take a survey of that store. Let me see your bookshelf. She had the bookshelf. I said, you're going to take all those books off and you're going to put your book up there. And that's going to take you to a whole nother 6 figures. And she was like, I said, yeah, you're promoting everyone else's stuff, which is great.
But yours.
Which is wonderful. But we're going to get your book done, because she has a book. She's been pregnant for probably about 10 years too. I said, we're going to take that book.
Extended pregnancies. These extended pregnancies.
We're going to deal with that.
Oh, Lord. I'm not going to even drop myself into that pit. I don't even know where I am.
I said, we're going to sell your book in your store, and we are going to blow you up. And she was like, for real? And I was like, yeah. And I said, do you already teach classes? Because she teaches energy healing. And I said, oh, let's sit down and let's write a marketing plan. Let's do a promotional calendar. Let's do this branding, because that's one thing that people don't offer in their programs is the branding. I got you, boo. I got you. You want 6 figures from your book? Let's go. You want to add speaking to your thing? Let's go. I've been paid to speak. I've been paid to teach. I've been paid to coach. How many ways can you get paid from that book? Show me the money. I love that question, Chris. I can go on all night with that question.
Yes, and thank you for asking it, Chris.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I jumped the gun. I'm sorry.
Taking over the interview.
You know what? I'm sorry, I jumped the gun.
No, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Definitely sounds like I need to be calling and emailing and setting up some time with Coach LT, because I'm like, now my brain is running with everything she just said. So y'all,
and all the gifts that you have, sir, all the gifts that Miss Tasia has, sir, individually, collectively. Come on, Hamilton family.
Oh, I appreciate that. Dr. Harris. I wanted to just say, so this is my last question, and I'm gonna jump out. Y'all don't have to see my beautiful face anymore, because I'm gonna say these questions for our coaching session.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
So let me just say this. Let's say I'm doing a bunch of other stuff, because you kind of answered the question, I guess. Is the book and self-publishing a book, is that really something necessary? Is that really a missing key? Is that a missing puzzle piece?
Great question.
How much of an impact is it really? It's all that.
It is, because here's what's going to happen. You just look at the world of entertainment, right? Yeah. You look at the people who music, you buy a concert ticket, right? You fall in love with the artist. When someone gets a hold of your ideas, and they hear and they see and they feel your passion in that book, they're going to buy everything you got.
Mm.
Enough said.
All right. All right, y'all.
You ain't just going to
And
get the t-shirt and the hat.
yes,
You're going to have the book, you're going to have the pen, the mug, everything. They want everything you got, because the thing is, your intellectual property cannot be duplicated.
mhm. That part right there. That part right there. And this is why she is coaching. This is why she is coaching. And I mentioned earlier that here at the Gifted Table, there are 4 things that I want women in leadership and those who work with women and those who serve women and all the things. And even if the gentlemen who are on here and who follow with the Gifted Table, I want you to know that there are 4 things we focus on: our profession, our passions, our perseverance, and our purpose. Those are our 4 things. So, Coach LT, out of those 4 things, which one are you focusing on right now to help
Yes.
empower yourself and to empower others?
Ooh, perseverance.
Tell me more.
Perseverance. Okay, some people say this. I have a guru mentor that I follow,
Mhm.
and she says, new level, same devil.
Mm,
My mantra is new level, new devil is something you've never seen before. You're
mhm,
going into a new space.
mhm,
I
mhm,
went into teaching, loving teaching, right? But not sure if that was going to be it.
mm.
So then I went into writing for fun. It turned into publishing. And I'm like, wow. So I'm not just an author, y'all. I'm a publisher.
Mhm.
There's a difference. And when I teach people things, I teach them how to publish. There's
Yeah.
multiple skills that I teach in
Yep.
my courses.
Mhm.
And so I went from authorship to publishing and then coaching, and now I'm on stages speaking. This is what I spend the majority of my time doing. So I was a
Mm.
little late today because I was taking a nap, because I've been speaking so much lately.
Don't sleep on the Gifted Table,
I
honey.
know. I'm so sorry that I was late, because I had to be fresh. I had to
Right.
be ready.
No,
And
much love,
so,
sis. Much
yes,
love. Yeah.
sleep is a whole thing. That's why I said, Chris, whoo, whoo. I remember when the babies were waking up every 2 hours, and
Yeah.
you know, you're in a different phase of your life. I'm in
Mhm.
a different phase of my life,
Right.
right? I'm retired. My kids are grown,
Yeah.
right? I get to now speak.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
this is a new door
That's
that
right.
I'm busting through, right?
Busting through.
I'm busted through it. Like,
Busting through it.
it's perseverance,
Yeah.
because every time you make a decision and say it out loud and things happen, ooh, you got to practice that self-leadership all over again.
That's right. That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah. And set yourself accountable. Now, we do have a question from Eric. Eric wants to know, we talked about the financial side, the publishing. His question is, what are the downsides, if any? Have you found any personally or with
Many.
any of your clientele?
Oh, many. The downsides of publishing, or being an author, or just the whole thing.
That's Eric, be more specific.
Everything. Yeah, because there's so many
Yeah.
that I have discovered, and
Mhm.
I've been doing 5 years of research on this.
Mhm.
The industry has changed a lot in the past 5 years,
Mhm.
and there are many, many authors. Lean in and listen. This is the biggest thing that bothers me. I mean, this really bothers me. There are many authors, just like artists, who are out here promoting themselves and working hard and producing content, and they're not getting paid, and other people are getting paid off of their content.
Mm.
As an educator, that bothers me,
Yeah.
because if you could shift that and you could monetize your brand for yourself,
Mhm.
you can set your family up for generations.
Generational wealth.
I mean, you could just do it. But if you don't know, and we don't know what we don't know,
Yeah. The whole thing, Eric. Okay, she gonna talk. That's what she talking about.
Yeah.
She letting you know.
This is the thing that's close to my heart, that breaks my heart, because I'm on calls every day like this with authors. And I say, okay, what would you like me to help you with? And at this point, people are asking me for marketing, sales, promotion tips, launching. Okay, let's do it. And the questions that I ask are, okay, well, how much are you making on your books right now?
Mm, right.
Crickets.
Crickets. And I think sometimes that when it's not something that's familiar to us, it's a dream and it's a passion,
Yeah.
but we don't look at the logistical side of it, that's where we have the downfalls. And you talked about our intellectual property. That's what it is. And so many times people do not understand how to protect that and how to honor that and how to make sure that what is theirs solely belongs to them.
Yes.
And we have to be taught because, like you said, we don't know what we don't know.
That's the biggest downfall. I've spoken to many authors. There's just one in particular who asked me,
Mhm.
he said, Coach LT, I wrote a history book. And I'm a history teacher. So
Yeah.
my wheels was like, yeah. He
Mhm.
said, I already wrote it. It's done. It's published. He goes, it was 6 years of research. He goes, there's people in my family that are related and connected to presidents of the
Mm.
United States. And he goes, the richness of the history. And I'm all about Black history. I went to HBCU, graduated in 98, Grambling State University. Let's plug
Go ahead,
that.
Grambling. Look, if Jonathan is still on here, he went to Grambling as well. All right.
98. That's when Eddie Robb was still coaching, by the way. Go do your history work, y'all. But anyway, he produced a history book, and
Wow.
he said that history book, he wants it to be in the schools, in the classrooms. This is a Black man, wrote a history book about his family, his legacy.
Mm.
And the book is so good. I've never even seen it, read it, or whatever, but from the conversation that he had with me, and I looked it up, he said, the book is so good, I've already received awards for this. He said the publisher has already sent it out.
Mm.
And he said, and people are contacting me for interviews. And I said, okay, we about to have a show me the money conversation.
Yeah.
Because he came to me to ask me how to get more exposure.
Ah.
I said, okay, exposure is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the money. How much are you making on each copy?
Mm. I'm afraid of the answer, but go ahead.
What's the royalty split in that contract?
Mm.
Crickets.
Oh, wow. So Coach T will help you avoid, swoop past, and make sure what's yours is yours. That's what you're teaching. That's what you're teaching. Tell the people how to contact you.
Absolutely. I'm in the process of a complete rebrand right now, y'all. So their best bet is to just email me directly. And it's easy because it's L for Latasha and Jimerson's on the screen, but it's only one M. So
Your
it's
name
L,
only has one M.
yeah, one M. So L Jimerson 35@gmail.com.
Okay.
That's
L
the best
Jimerson.
thing. L Jimerson 35@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. We're going to make sure that's in our description. All right, people. So you have to connect with Coach LT Latasha Jimerson, book coach, entrepreneur, retired herself at 46, was pregnant for 12 years with her passion, gave birth to that purpose. Now she's persevering and she's created her own profession. See how I locked in those 4 P's for you right there?
Yes. You're brilliant.
I love it. Now, before you go, I have to ask you 2 final questions. Looking back, what is it that you would tell yourself now to prepare for where you are?
Ooh, girl. This goes back to Chris's question. Girl, get ready for the money. Get ready for the money. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. I would tell myself, make sure that you have a space where you save your book money and you take your book money and you reinvest it into your book business. Because I didn't know that this book was going to be a business. I had no idea. I didn't know that. And so if I would have known it, I would have prepared better with some buckets, right? I would have had different buckets to make different investments and do
Right.
different things to level up faster. So that's the number one thing. There's a lot of things I would have told myself, but the number one thing would have been be ready for the money.
You ready
Be
for the
ready.
money? I love that. All right. Final question, sis. Final question. Looking ahead, what is it that you want and what is it that you need?
Ooh, wow. Global legacy, global impact. Because now my vision is I'm on top of a mountain and I'm staring down and I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't been thinking big enough. Oh
Mm,
my goodness. My dream, what I would love to see in my lifetime is every child on the planet has a book by the time they graduate high school. Not
amen.
only is it a reflective piece, but it's a way for them to earn income before they even go to college, if they decide to go to college. And that's a whole nother
I
conversation,
love that. Yeah.
right? Kids can have multiple streams of income. We see it now,
Mm-hmm.
right? It wasn't really possible when I was a kid, but well, actually lemonade stand, braid hair, babysit, all that.
Yeah.
But literally, a child could have a book that is their intellectual property that they sell online and in person, and they can make multiple streams of income as a child. I would love that. That's my whole global vision, that
Mm,
one day people will be getting college degrees in self-publishing.
mm. I love that. I love it. Thank you so much. This has been awesome. Before we go, just want to make sure we have a few people still left on. Felicia had to pop off 4 a.m. getting up. I get it. She has a nice commute in the morning. But are there any questions? We have a few people here. What questions might you have for Coach LT right now? Coach LT, we're going to make sure that we pop in her email in the description on YouTube. But Eric asked some great questions. What questions do you have for Coach LT before we close this evening? This has been so amazing. And again, you and I have talked. I might be a few months right now, but
Well, you're the first trimester. That's okay.
I know. But listen, if we're talking about 12 years, that's what I'm 3 years old. I'm 3 years in. I'm 3 years in.
Right. You're 3 years. You got 2 more years for the first trimester.
I'm 3 years in.
Yes. 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 I would love to give my YouTube channel, because
Yes. Yes.
this is the part about it. When we first start this conversation,
Mhm.
people don't really have questions because
Yes.
there's so much.
There's so much information. Yes, we're going to put all your information, your
So
email,
yeah.
website, everything will be in the description. But please follow her. Tell them the name of your YouTube channel.
Oh yeah. For homework, guys and
Well,
girls, boys and girls. I need to give you a homework assignment. Is that okay?
yes,
Literally, go to YouTube and type in your first book.
that's it.
That you will see my face, you will hear my voice. There are hundreds of videos there for you to binge watch, to get your mindset right. Because you got to have your mind right in order to write right.
Yes. Your first book on YouTube. Your first book. That is her channel. Now, Eric is asking, what does your services cost approximately?
Oh,
Well,
yes.
you got to contact her individually. We're going to give you her email so you can
I
reach
have
her.
no problem with throwing it out there if you
Well,
have
throw it, because I think he has his catcher mitt. I think he might have a bag, a
Right.
hat. He's going to find something to catch it in. Toss
Yeah.
it on out there. Toss it on out there.
So the main thing that I offer is my 90-day coaching program. That is $10,000
How many
to
days?
work with me. 90 days, $10,000.
Mhm. 90 days, 10K, an investment in your future, because she's going to show you the money.
That part.
All right. Tasia says thank you. She felt inspired, insightful. Summer Leave said inspiring and thorough. Thank you so much for staying on with us this evening. I know this was a longer session that we've had, longer episode we've had on the gifted table, but so worth the time. So excited to have. Look, you thirsty too, girl? My water been sitting here. Mouth just dry, but so worth it. So worth it. I love you all for being here, for supporting the gifted table. Please go to YouTube, go to Your First Book 101. Is that it? Yes, Your First Book 101. That is her channel. Don't forget to subscribe to her. Subscribe to me if you're not already a subscriber to the gifted table. Go back under live when you go to my channel and like this one, and big thumbs up. And don't forget to share it with your social media channels. Everyone, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Until next time, everyone, and there will be a next time. Remember that April is Empower Yourself. Please empower yourself. And with that, remember, stay grounded, innovative, fierce, transparent every day. In other words, stay gifted. Thank you, Coach LT. We'll see you next time. All right.